This is the panel above the door, and as you can see, it's got some dents in it, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my planishing hammer and kind of hammer out some of these dents. And the planishing hammer is a very interesting piece of equipment. Okay, so this is a planishing hammer. This is a Chicago pneumatic. It's 36 inch. That's just determined by this throat depth. They came in a 12 inch and a 24 and a 36. I've had this machine here probably 25 plus years at least. It has a large variety of dies with different radiuses on the top, different profiles, and it'll even do linear stretching. But the main thing that the planishing hammer is used for is for smoothing. The word planishing comes from the Latin word planus, which means flat. So the planishing hammer is to make your panel flat, even if it's got a lot of curve or shape in it. Try to work the low spots and do blending and all that stuff. It's all controlled by this foot pedal and your die, your lower die. You want to use the flattest die that you can whenever you're doing planishing, because if you use a die that has more crown in it than the panel that you're smoothing, has more crown, then it's going to stretch it, and that's not what we want it to do. We don't want it to stretch. We want it to smooth, you know, to go flat, smooth out the bumps, make it flat. So like this bigger one, see, it's going to support the panel more than this one here, and or even this one here. Then see, I've got this die that's like this half circle. To me, this thing's worthless because it only hits on a spot about the size of, you know, eighth of an inch dot. So all it's going to do is just put dents everywhere. You know, I mean, it's good if you're making something that's that shape, but not many things are that shape. So that die never gets used. I just kind of hold my die up here, you know, see what my radius is where I'm going to be working. Well, I'm going to be working right here in this area, so I don't want to get much more than what this is right here. So I'm going to start with this one, see what it does. Another thing is, if you use too much air pressure, it's going to hit really hard, and then it's going to stretch. We don't want it to stretch. So I have my regulator right here. Okay, it's right here by my hand. And if I realize I'm hitting it too hard, I can reach up and instantly hit the knob and back it out. Or if I need more, I can just give it a couple cranks and I can crank up my air. I've seen guys and they've got their regulator way the hell back here in the back. Well, you have to stop what you're doing and reach back here, jack around with it. You want everything right here. Okay, so here we go. Turn this on. I've got my little gauge here, and I'm just going to give it a couple of hits, see what happens. It's too much. See how easy that was? Reach right up. Oh, and the other thing is, this little thing is extremely loud, so I'm going to put on my earmuffs. When you're planishing with your pedal, you want to push it really hard so it's squeezing. Because if you don't, it's the bouncing. Kind of bouncing. If you squeeze it, it's going to get in there and hit it just right. See, in a short period of time, we got this thing feeling pretty good. And I didn't overstretch it. It looks good in the light, you know. It's not 100% perfect, but it doesn't need to be at this point. What we're trying to do is just fix some of these dents that are in it, because once it's all welded together, this thing's going to get a roof insert put in it. So it's going to get cut from here back, have a roof insert put in it. All this will get blended into the roof insert. So what we're doing here is just cleaning up a little bit of stuff, you know, just so we don't have as much work to do with it on the car. Cutting it up and making these pieces, or having these pieces, that we can go in here, we can make little repairs, whatever. It just takes some of the hammer and dolly work out of the car. Of course, I have a handheld planishing hammer, which we'll be using when we put the roof insert in. That's exactly the same thing as this, except you use it by hand. I'm just going to tune up a couple other areas here, and then I'm going to grab the other side and go over it a little bit, and then we'll be able to set these to the side, and I'm going to finish up that front header, and then we'll start welding all this back together.